Welcome, ghouls, ghosts, and mere mortals, to the Hidden Creek Manor. Now, if you can't tell by my nasally voice, I do have a bit of a head cold right now, but as close as we are to the spooky season, there's no rest for the wicked. So we have to push through and keep on decorating. And one of the things that we wanted to decorate in our haunt this year is a ship's wheel on our sinking ship. We've always wanted to have it, but we just never got around to it before. And the idea was always to have the ship's wheel with the skeleton kind of holding onto it, looking like it's steering the ship as it's going down. And during the off-season, we bought a ship's wheel. And the ship's wheel that we bought is an animatronic ship wheel, so it actually goes back and forth. So in this episode, we were going to take our skeleton friend here and attach it to the ship's wheel to make it look like it's steering the ship as it's going down. So let's just get straight into it and get to work. So first let's get this guy, First let's get this guy out of the way so we can put together our ship wheel. So I'm just going to put him to the side for now. And the ship wheel is super simple to put together. It's got a base. It's got the wheel. Attach the wheel to the base. Make sure it doesn't fall over. We got little pegs to hold it together. Oops, I went backwards. Try that again. This way. Alright, ship wheel is assembled. Now we're going to plug it in. Now I'm going to disappear so I can plug this in. Alright, so I don't know. I can't see what the camera is showing right now, so I'm going to bring this down a little bit so you guys can see it. But as you can see, it just goes back and forth. Pretty simple animatronic, and it's going to work out pretty well, I think, in our display. So now we got that out of the way, let's talk about the skeleton. Now, originally my plan was to completely remove the skeleton's arms, and then take a PVC pipe and make hinges, and then attach the hand to the PVC pipe, so that way the hand would move freely, or the arms would move freely, I mean, and wouldn't restrict the wheel from turning. But with these ball joints, it moves pretty freely already. So I don't think I'm going to have to make any modifications, luckily. So I think what we're going to do here is we'll take our heat gun and just kind of bend the fingers around the ship wheel, and then probably attach it with zip ties as well. And then if that all goes to plan, dress them up and call it a day. So let's get to work. All right, so first we're just going to do a test run. So I've got a couple zip ties. Got our skeleton. And we're just going to... And this is kind of hard to do, to hold the skeleton up in. Alright, so let's stand them up and test it out. Hopefully you guys can see that. I can't see the camera sees, but it looks like it's gonna work with those ball joints. It is maybe creating a little bit of resistance, but also the way his wrist has been, I think that has a lot to do with it. I just don't want to wear out the motor. Yeah, I think that's what it is. That's his wrist. Let's see if we can... Here I am saying I don't want to wear out the motor and I'm messing with this as it's running. Here, let me turn it to the side. Nope. Alright, so I'm glad we did this test first, because it seems like it might not quite work just like we wanted it to. I mean, it is going back and forth, but there is some resistance that's happening. You can see where the ship wheel doesn't want to continually go back and forth. So I'm going to go back to the drawing board on this, see what we can do, and then we'll come back to it. So I almost wonder if I loosen these 4 screws, it'll give me less resistance on that ball joint. So we're going to try it and see if that makes a difference. I'm not going to take them completely off, just, like I said, just enough where it loosens up. Hopefully allows that ball joint to move a little bit more freely. I think that might do it. Okay, so off camera went back to the drawing board, and I think it actually is the wrist joint that's causing the most resistance. So I am going to loosen this as much as I can while still keeping it attached, and hopefully that will get rid of any resistance that we're facing. Oh yeah, nice, bendable. Alright, so I did another test off camera, and there's still a little bit of resistance, but I think it's because I just kind of, in my testing, just kind of loosely zip-tied the wrists, or the hands, to the wheel, and because of that, when the hand's on the wheel, it gets bent upwards. So I'm thinking if we were to attach it properly, it will bend a little bit better. At least that's what I'm hoping for. So we're going to switch locations because we're inside right now, and I don't want to inhale fumes from melting plastic, but we're going to take the hands, and we're going to take our heat gun and bend the fingers so that way they can wrap around the ship wheel. So let's go outside and bend his fingers. Alright, so off camera I did some testing. You know, it is very flexible now, but the problem is when I attach the hand, it wants to, there's a little bit of back and forth, a little left to right movement, and when the hand is attached to the wheel, it doesn't get that back and forth movement. So back to the drawing board again, I've decided I think I'm going to drill a hole through the hand and through the ship wheel, and then attach this with a bolt loosely, so that way, hopefully, it'll give it enough movement where I don't have any more restriction on the ship's wheel. So, let's get to drilling. Make sure it's big enough. Perfect. Okay, now just to get an idea where to put the hole, I'm just going to place the hand. It looks like it might just close to the line. Mark my spot. We'll drill through this. through. Well, easier said than done. Kind of hard to do this one-handed. There we go. And we'll put our nut in the bottom. I'll probably end up using washers at some point, but hopefully that gives it enough wiggle room. So, alright, let's test that out again. Okay, I think we're okay. It's still clicking. I might play around with it just a little bit more. Actually, if I stood back a little bit. I can't figure out if it's clicking because it can't, because it's getting too much resistance, or if that's just where it stops and clicks before it heads back over. So I might test out a little bit more, but you guys don't need to watch me do that, so I'm going to stop it, and we're going to get this skeleton dressed. Can't have a naked skeleton steering the ship. Alright, I'm on my way to Goodwill to get an outfit for our pirate. And that's what we've done with all the pirates that we have in our haunts. We go to thrift stores to get their clothes. It's way cheaper than buying a pirate costume from one of the Halloween stores. Now, for their like eye patches and for their bandanas and hats, stuff like that, typically we'll get those at like dollar stores and kind of discount stores, just because they're going to be outside, they're going to be in the elements. They don't need to be high quality because we're just going to have to replace them, or they're going to get sun faded. So why spend a lot of money on it? So let's go get an outfit from Goodwill, and then we'll get this guy dressed. All right, so I'm back with my Goodwill score. Probably look kind of odd, dude with the beard shopping through the women's section at Goodwill, but it's for the pirates, not for me. I promise. But anyway, here's the shirt. Just a plain white shirt, button-up shirt. Might look kind of piratey by the time we're done with it. I found this brown jacket. Hopefully it'll kind of look like a pirate jacket when we're done with it. And some brown pants. Thought this buckle looked kind of cool. Might look piratey when we're done with it as well. So now, it's time to mess these clothes up. And really, we're only going to need 2 supplies. Scissors and a wire brush. So let's get to work. So first thing we'll do is the pants. So I'm just going to lay my skeleton out on the table. And take these pants. We're not going to put them on him just yet. We're going to measure, because these 5-foot skeletons, well, they don't have the same body structure as a real human, or same length and everything, so I want to make sure that these pants aren't too long. So we just kind of lay them out to figure out how far down we want to make our cuts. Now I know you guys can't see that, so I'm just going to fold these over and bring it over here so you can see. Alright, so I'm making a cut here and here. Now, these cuts don't have to be perfect because we don't want it to look perfect. So I'm just going to cut through it initially, just to make it the right length. Actually, we want it to be kind of jagged and all over the place, so just kind of make some slices into it. Actually, a lot of times it looks better than cutting it. It's just ripping it by hand. Well, I need to start it first. Not that strong. Alright. So now we've made our cuts with the scissors. Let me get this guy out of the way. And we'll roughen these up with the wire brush. And this step's pretty easy, just like the cutting. You just kind of take this fabric, take your wire brush, just kind of rough it up. Really all we have to do, and what we'll get are nice frayed edges so it doesn't look like it's roughly cut. Now, as you can see, this does make a mess, so just be mindful of that whenever you decide to use your wire brush. But see, you can already see it's starting to fray those edges, so it doesn't look like I just freshly cut it with scissors. So I'm gonna keep on working on the legs, and then we'll do the same thing on the shirt and probably even the jacket. So for the white shirt, it's very white and it's not supposed to be white. It's supposed to be old and worn and dirty. Now, yeah, I could use some dye, I'm sure, to make it look old and worn, but I'm going to take another approach. I'm going to use my garden soil and actually dirty it up. I mean, it doesn't matter. It's going to be outside anyway. So, yeah, I'm going to take the shirt, just rub it all on the dirt, or dirt on top of it, rub it in there. Now, this might not get it as dirty or looking as we would like if we used, say, a dye or something else, but it'll help out for sure. See, it's already, just by doing that. Now, we'll have to let nature do its job with the weathering process and having rain and the elements over time make it look worse. Also, you can just rub it in the ground too. Get some of that fresh dirt on there. Flip it over. Alright, so now that we have the shirts and the pants kind of torn apart and dirtied, it's time to get the skeleton dressed. Now, this can be a bit of a pain. The skeleton doesn't have, well, first off, it doesn't have the ability to help you out, so you really have to do all the work yourself. But also, it's all bone. There's no meat for the clothes to go over, so there's going to be a lot of safety pinning and zip tying and maneuvering to get this taken care of. But anyway, I'm going to try to do it for you guys on camera, but I probably... yeah, that's not going to work. Next time you see this guy, he's going to have clothes on him. Alright guys, that's going to do it for this episode, and I hope everyone enjoyed it. Did you enjoy it? I guess he enjoyed it. But if you want to see this guy in his full pirate get-up, steering the ship as it's sinking and being attacked by a kraken, you might want to consider subscribing to our channel. That way you can be up to date and notified when future videos come out, like our Decoration Day video, whenever we set this guy up and he'll be on full display, like I said, steering that ship on its way to the bottom of the ocean. But we're going to go and wrap things up, so why don't you close this out and say the final words. Alright, he's a bit shy, so yeah, I'll do it. Happy haunting, and we'll see you in the next one.
Congratulations, you made it to the end of the video. As a reward for sticking around, you may now watch one of these two videos. The choice is yours, but choose wisely.